What's going on, everybody? JT here with the Next Block, back with another technical analysis video, and today we're going to be looking at the charts of Bitcoin, Shibainu, Dogecoin, Solana, and Cardano. We're also going to be looking at the dollar chart to see what the dollar tells us and indicates for the rest of the market. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get started. Alright, so here is the dollar on the daily time frame. We can see about as far back as December, November, until the present day. We're stuck in this downward trend as indicated by these green support lines and this orange resistance line. We are now hitting this resistance line for the third time in a row and bouncing off of it. If you look at the RSI, the Relative Strength Index, it also looks extremely bearish. This RSI is about to cross the moving average that's associated with the RSI. Now, if we plot a red line where that's happened the last 3 times, we can begin to see a trend. My prediction is that the dollar will do something like this over the course of the coming weeks, and this will mean for Bitcoin and the rest of the crypto market likely the ability to move higher, because typically the dollar moves inversely to crypto. So when the dollar is moving up, crypto is often moving down and vice versa. Of course, there's some small exceptions to the rule, but overall on a macro scale, this seems to be the trend, and I don't see why it would not continue. Now here we have Bitcoin on the daily time frame, and it didn't look so good for Bitcoin over the last week. Bitcoin broke this uptrend that it was on. It has broken through all sorts of support levels. It's broken through the 50-day moving average, the 100-day moving average, and the 200-day moving average, and it's also moved below the 200-week moving average, which is a very important support level. Now, I do think there's a high probability Bitcoin continues to come down to about this 23,800 level, maybe about the 24,000 level. Now that is because this level actually corresponds with the 50-week moving average. If I move this to the weekly time frame, you can see this corresponds with the green moving average, the 50-week moving average right here, which, as we've spoke about in the last video, acts as the bull market support band. So we do not want to move that. It should be strong support. Now, looking back on the daily time frame, something to look at that actually could be cause for some excitement is this RSI level. The RSI level has only been this low a few times. Let's go back in history a little bit. So the last time it was this low, it hit this point in the RSI in May of 2022 and again in June of 2022. So May almost marked the bottom. June basically did mark the bottom. A couple months later in November, we went a little bit lower down to about 15,000, but this June level on the RSI marked a point of about $17,000 for Bitcoin. It would have been a great buying level. If we go back in history a little bit further, you can see something really, really interesting. And the last time we were at this level was the COVID crash of 2020, and we all know what happened after that. I mean, just look at it. So I think Bitcoin is extremely oversold at these levels currently, and I'm expecting a bounce. However, I must say, it very well could play out similarly to this point right here, where we bounce off of it, we go up a little bit, and then come down further to retest the zone and then start our march up. So what I think could happen is we could see a little bounce around the level right here because we are extremely oversold, maybe hit the 200-week moving average at about 27,500 for a retest of this moving average, and then come down to about 23,800, 24,000 level before finally heading back up. Now here we have Shiba Inu, and the price action over the last year or two has been pretty depressing. If we look at it from the high, we've lost about 91%, adding a 0 to the many zeros that are already in front of the price. One of the few potentially bright things that I was seeing is that when I mapped this out, it does look like Shiba Inu is trying to bounce off of previous resistance and turn it into support. Now, this is obviously a great sign, but when I look at the RSI, it recently reached this overbought level in the red up here and is heading down towards the green, where it would finally be in an oversold level, which would be a good place to buy. So I think Shiba Inu still has some way to come down, maybe come down to about 0.000007, which would be about a 10% drop from here. So potentially if Shiba Inu drops about 10%, and it goes into this green zone for the RSI, maybe around the 1920 level if you're looking at it and don't have these green zones on your chart, I would consider maybe picking up some for a trade. Of course, this isn't financial advice, and I'm usually actually not that big into meme coins, but if you're into trading, into speculating, this could potentially be a good scoop once this RSI cools off a little bit and Shiba Inu comes down just a little bit further. Now, if we take a look at Solana, we see something pretty interesting because Solana doesn't actually look that bearish, but it also doesn't look that bullish. It looks like it has some battles ahead of it, but it also looks like it could be overcoming them. So I'll explain a little bit further. So these diagonal lines in blue are the long-term support lines for Solana. As you can see, we broke one of those lines back in August of 2022, and then we broke the other one briefly in December of 2022, got back above it in January, and broke below it again in May of 2023. Now we saw Solana treat this old support as resistance in July 12th to July 14th to be exact, and since then we have been on our way back down. Now you can see this red line here as well. This was a resistance line that held as resistance from about May 2022 to about July 2023, so about 14 months until we broke it. Now we are still above that, but we are having trouble getting above this blue line, so I believe that there's a high probability Solana comes down to retest this prior resistance, maybe around $17 to $18 over the course of the next month. Now, this would line up perfectly with the RSI overbought, oversold levels because back on July 12th, July 14th area, we were in overbought levels. We were told to sell by this RSI here, and we're heading back down into the buy zone, into the oversold level, but we're not quite there yet. The RSI indicates we have further room to drop. The price action indicates we have further room to drop to retest this prior resistance as support, and then hopefully we'll be on our way back up to try this trend line again and maybe retest it once more around $40 to $41 over the course of the next coming months, and we'll see if we can break above it then. But I believe that is the trajectory for Solana over the course of the next coming months. Now, if we look at Cardano, Cardano technically broke its downtrend in 2023. However, it was very weak, so it continued back down, and it's retested this downtrend at around June 8th of 2023, and since then it's been stuck in this range, the range from 24 cents to about 44 cents. Now, Cardano, unlike some of the other coins that we've shown so far, has actually entered its buy zone on the daily RSI. Now, if we stretch this out a little bit further, it does look like the RSI is still coming down, so it might retest this buy zone one or two more times like it has in this past, where it has a double bottom here or double bottom here. The last double bottom was in June of 2023. We had a bottom here and another bottom here, and the second bottom marked when we actually started moving up from about 26 cents all the way up to about 37 cents. The second to last double bottom was here in December of 2022, where we hit about 25 cents, and then the double bottom of about 24, 23 cents before we lifted off to about 42 cents. Now, I just drew out a rough sketch on what I think is going to happen to Cardano next. I think we're going to come back down, as I said, retest this 24 support level, this 24 cent support level, before slowly making our way back up to the top of this range around 42 cents. Now, this is in line with the motion of the RSI. We're still trending down on the RSI. It looks like we're going to make a double bottom, as I stated before, and we're going to head back on up. I hope that this is, of course, the case. This is not financial advice. I do see this in the charts. This is how I would be playing this if I held Cardano. But now we're going to move on to Doge. Now, similarly to Cardano, Dogecoin technically broke its downtrend in October of 2022, and it peaked at about 15 cents before crashing back down and slowly bleeding back down to the lows that it found around July to late 2022. Now, this support level of at about 5 cents, 5 to 6 cents, seems to be an extremely strong support level that it hasn't broke in years. Now, if we look at the RSI, we also see something similar to Cardano, where it's already made its way up through the sell level, the overbought level, and down into the oversold level, or the buy zone, this green zone here. But if we look at it a little closer, we can see that this RSI is trending down again, which I believe will likely see a double bottom on the RSI and a retest of this support level at about 5 to 5.5 cents. Now, after we retest this low, I do believe Dogecoin will come back up to try to retest this resistance line. It'll likely be at about 7 or 8 cents, and if it can break past that, it'll try to move up to about this 200-week moving average, which is at about 9 to 10 cents. This area right here has acted as a rough resistance. Every time we've got above it, we've shot right back down below it. So hopefully on the next occasion, we can continue to rise above, as long as we continue to break these trend lines and move back up and do not continue to put in lower lows, which Dogecoin hasn't put in a lower low since June of 2022, which shows signs of extreme strength. Now, if you were looking for an entry for Doge, I would wait to about this 5 to 5.5 cent level, maybe a little under 6 cents, so 0.058 or something like that would be a pretty good entry level. And then I would try to get out at about 7.5 cents, maybe hold a little bit of the bag to about 9 cents if we break this 7.5 cent level. That's how I'd be playing Doge for the upcoming weeks to maybe a month, but let me know down in the comments below what you're doing with your coins. That just about wraps up this video. We covered Bitcoin, the dollar, Solana, Cardano, Dogecoin, and Shiba Inu. If you liked the video, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know down in the comments below, how are you trading these tokens? Are you trading at all? Are you just investing? Do you hold any of these tokens? And most importantly, let me know which tokens you want me to cover next week. We're going to be doing deep dives on all sorts of tokens. And I want to know, do you like this format? Should I do a deeper dive on fewer tokens? Should I do a more broad dive on even more tokens? Give me your thoughts down below. Hit that subscribe button. Ping that notification bell so you never miss an episode. And make sure you tune in to the upcoming week's live podcast with Tony Edward of Thinking Crypto. Thinking Crypto is a big YouTube channel. You should definitely go follow them. And then tune in to our live episode this Thursday. We'll see you there. Like this video, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.